Devaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Haribol. Thank you very much, George. So, if you have any questions, you can just use the mic or raise your hands, or you can write it down on the space provided in the at the message section. Would you have any questions?
Booster, there is a question on the chat.
Okay, there's a question here. Just read this. Okay. Uh, Rallies are everywhere, even in Nepal and Indonesia, and now here in the Philippines. May we humbly ask if there is any instruction from Srila Prabhupada related to rally and voting. Should we join rallies? Should we vote during election? Okay, I'll just get this the answer from what Srila Prabhupada instructed us during the 1986 EDSA revolution, way back in 1986. Yeah, actually, he said at that time, he specifically said, "I want you to go to the yellow side." Yeah, yellow side. That means the side of Cory Aquino before. Yeah, and um, and yes, he allowed us to participate. Okay, but in a very peaceful manner. Very peaceful manner. Just give our support for that. At that time, the government was really, really ultra uh, corrupt at that time. So right now, it's happening again. Uh, um, people are people are dissatisfied and angry already because of what's happening uh, with the ghost projects that was that was investigated. Also, the Department of Public Works and Highways uh, riddled with lots and lots of corruption. Yeah, so you may or may not, but as far as voting is concerned, he says that we have to vote. Yeah, we don't walk away from voting. No, so uh, that's the that was the instruction given by Srila Prabhupada before. And right now, we have not received uh, any instructions yet. So we're just following what was said before in terms of rallies and election, like that. So it is true that in Nepal and Indonesia, yeah, right now are uh, there's a lot of rally going on in the streets, and and it is actually quite bloody. Yeah, quite bloody. What we had here in 1986 EDSA revolution, it was a people power. Okay, there was no violence. There was no violence at the time, and it's good because I think divine providence intervened, and yeah. So as far as devotees are concerned, we we don't want to participate in any how do you call that? We don't want to participate in any political discussions, etc. Yeah, especially us, we're preaching, and and it's good if we remain apolitical. Apolitical means we don't want to make known our side, whether this side or this side, like this. But I remember Srila Prabhupada said before that he wanted us to choose the yellow, okay? Because at that time, the government was riddled with a lot of corruption. Yeah, that people were already very angry. Yeah, so it's actually happening right now. People are angry, and they because our tax money is being robbed by these unscrupulous politicians, and also the Department of Public Works and Highways officials from the government, etc., in cahoots with with some senators and congressmen. So like if there's some rally, you can go to the rally and make and you support the what you call this the call for accountability by the people concerned, the people who were named, no, in the investigation. Yun lang. Any other question?
Hi, Bo. Namaste, sir. This is Kathy.
Namaste, Kathy. It's nice to see you, Kathy.
Nice to see you too.
Can,
Let me put the camera.
can you talk a little louder, Kathy? Because
Yes,
you
you
know
can
you
hear me?
sound a little faint.
Yeah, let me
Yes,
see.
I can hear you now.
Yeah, okay. I'm closer to the microphone. We had a fireside chat in Toronto regarding some verses in chapter 12 of Bhagavad Gita. Was the chapter
Yes.
entitled Devotional Service. Can you hear me?
Mm.
Yeah. Maybe I put this. Let me see if this computer sound is all the way to 100%. Yeah. And yeah.
Let me adjust my. Hold on, let me adjust this. Mm. Let me adjust my. Mm.
There you go. So I'm gonna read it louder. It's about devotional service and what a person can or cannot do. You can hear me
Okay,
good?
you may ask the question now, Kathy.
Oh, okay. It's regarding chapter 12 devotional service, Bhagavad Gita as it is. It's text 8 and onwards. We had this discussion in Toronto, but then I went ahead and I read a little bit of the purport of one of them, and the question arose from there. In text 8, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Haribo. Translation. Just fix your mind upon me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and engage all your intelligence in me. Thus you will live in me always without a doubt. Text 9. My dear Arjuna, O winner of wealth, if you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation, then follow the regulated principles of Bhakti Yoga. In this way, you will develop a desire to attain me. Now, I thought when I heard that if you cannot really be 100% engage your intelligence in Krishna, then you follow the regulated principles of Bhakti Yoga. I thought it would be the 4 regulative principles. But when I read the purport, it doesn't mention anything about the 4 regulative principles. It mentions that to practice the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga, one should, under the guidance of an expert spiritual master, follow certain principles. One should rise early in the morning, take bath, enter the temple, and offer prayers and chant Hare Krishna. Then collect flowers to offer to the deity, cook foodstuff to offer to the deity, take prasadam, and so on. There are various rules and regulations which one should follow, and one should constantly hear Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam from pure devotees. This practice can help anyone to rise to the level of love of God, and then he's sure of his progress into the spiritual kingdom of God. This practice of Bhakti Yoga under the rules and regulations with the direction of a spiritual master will surely bring one to the stage of love of God. What my question is when Krishna says follow the regulative principle of Bhakti Yoga, are there any specific things like 4 regulative principles, or are they just follow what the spiritual master says, whatever it says here in the purport?
Okay, it's like this. Our spiritual master and our grandfather's spiritual masters, the Param Gurus, have always given us instructions, no, uh, about how we can reestablish our loving relationship with Krishna. They always ask us to reestablish the loving relationship because we have lost our loving relationship with Krishna, since time immemorial. Since that time we came down here in on earth, uh, it has always been I, me, mine. It has always been myself, my own, enjoyment, etc., etc. Yeah. So uh, he is actually telling us, they're actually telling us to love Krishna, love Krishna, love Krishna, because that is the only way, really. Loving Krishna means that if you love Krishna, your interest for material sense pleasure diminishes tremendously. So really, if you have developed your love for Krishna, the attraction for the world decreases. So if your attraction for Krishna increases, the attraction for the world decreases, like that. The more you increase your love for Krishna, the more the attraction for the world decreases. Okay. However, in reality, uh, because we have been conditioned so many lifetimes, hundreds and thousands of lifetimes, we have been conditioned to love the world. Yeah. And so we have the tendency to actually forget our relationship with Krishna. The tendency is there. So in the Bhagavad Gita, it is described that if you cannot fully uh, love Krishna in your practice, if you cannot really fully love him, yeah, you have to follow certain regulations. In other words, that is not the end of the journey. Just because you aren't able to actually love Krishna uh, in your practice yourself, you can have the link with Krishna, but not able to actually love him because somehow we are still we are still attached to the essential pleasures of the world. Yeah. So Krishna is saying, if you happen to be not able to actually love Krishna unconditionally, you have to practice certain you have to practice certain regulated principles. Yeah, the do's and don'ts. The do's is engage in devotional service as much as possible. Engage in devotional service. Okay, make your life transformative in the sense that whatever you do, okay, you offer it to God. You offer it to Krishna. If you're working, you offer that work to Krishna. Okay. Um, and the do's are also finishing your rounds. The spiritual master has given us instructions on certain number of rounds on our beads. So we have to finish that. Um, Disciples are given a certain number of rounds to finish. Non-disciples or students are given the opportunity to just themselves. They try to set up a certain number of rounds daily, yeah, and then offer it to Krishna. So many students, they they chant between anywhere between 6 rounds to 12 rounds or even 14 rounds. Okay. So you have to be very truthful to Krishna, that if you said you're going to finish 10 rounds, this is just an example, yeah? You have to finish 10 rounds every day. Now, if you find yourself not being able to do that, be honest to Krishna, tell him, Krishna, I'm not able to finish due to work like this, due to my busy schedules like this, or due to my laziness, Krishna. All right. Can I can I make another promise that I'm going to chant? So put it down. If you're chanting 10 rounds, then tell Krishna I am only able to finish 6 rounds, Krishna. Okay, daily, and stick to that. Stick to that number. Because our chanting doesn't really matter. Why? Because if we chant 6 rounds and then we find ourselves free during the day, we can actually add rounds on our japa meditation. No? There is no stopping us. There's no stopping a devotee from chanting more than what is required. Actually, so that should be done. That's following the regulative principles. Okay. Now, the don'ts. Of course, the do's are that. The do's are, like when you eat, when you cook food, first offer it to Krishna in the altar. Yeah. So that particular food becomes spiritualized or sanctified. That if you eat the remnants of the food offered to Krishna, it's called prasadam, and it is non-different from Krishna. And it actually helps us clear our minds. It actually helps us uh, purify our hearts and consciousness. Okay, those are the do's.
Thank you, sir.
The don'ts are, of course, you don't engage in the four regulative principles. You don't engage in meat eating. You don't engage in intoxication. Anywhere from beer to wine and drugs. Anything that can color our mind, you have to avoid it. Totally avoid it. That's part of the what is known as the regulated principles. Yeah, don't engage in sexual activity. In other words, you don't have you don't engage in sexual relationships other than your husband or other than your wife. Okay, that is very important. And then, of course, we don't engage in any gambling activities. Right now, there are so many opportunities, especially in the internet, yeah, for gambling, for gambling. Any any game of chance is actually considered gambling. So we don't engage in that. Yeah, we don't engage in that. So that is what is meant there, Kathy. Okay.
Yes. What do you mean any game of chance? You mean like playing solitaire or anything on the computer? Playing games like
Yeah,
Sudoku?
anything that has something to do with you betting on something, that is a game of chance.
I see.
Trying to buy, let's say, lottery, or here in the Philippines, uh, ano yan, there are so many here actually. Uh, Going to casinos is actually uh, is a game of chance because you're not you're actually wasting your money there. Once a person, you don't win in gambling at all. Once you find yourself sitting there on the table or engaging in internet gambling, that for sure that is already a that in other words, but it is so addictive that instead of your mind becoming focused on Krishna or devotional service, it now has become on 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 gambling. Okay, that is the game of chance. In the Philippines, it is called sweepstakes. Sweepstakes. In the US, I believe it's called lottery. Yeah, because you're buying these tickets even without even uh, without even knowing that you're going to win or to lose. Yeah. So it's really a chance, a game of chance. And we are advised not to engage ourselves in those kinds of activities.
I see. Thank you so much, sir. And just one more quick,
Namaste.
just
Go
one
ahead.
more quick question. I was sick for a few days. I could not do my round, like sick to the point that I could not talk. I could not bring myself to speak. If you do it in your mind, is the same. Is that okay? If you do your rounds in your mind when you cannot speak due to sickness.
Yes, that is counted. That is actually counted. If you're sick, it's actually very difficult to chant, you know. So it's best if you chant. Krishna accepts our chanting even if it is in the mind. He accepts that. But our spiritual master is telling us that ideally it has to come from our from the sound vibration. The sound doesn't have any sound vibration, but when you chant Hare Krishna, yeah, all the senses are involved. The sense of touch is involved, the sense of hearing is involved, the sense of talking is involved also. So the more senses are involved in our chanting meditation, it is actually better. Um, but it doesn't also mean that our chanting using just our mind doesn't count. It also counts, but not as powerful as chanting. So I advise you, if you aren't able to finish your rounds, how many rounds do you chant, Kathy, if I may ask?
13, sir. 13.
14? 13
1, 3,
rounds.
13, yes.
Yeah, 13 rounds. If you can't finish that, you have to be very honest with Krishna. Krishna always listens to his devotees. Like in the morning, you open your altar, uh, you do your offering, or you do some uh, artik. You tell Krishna, Krishna, I am not, I am committing an offense to you because I am not finishing my rounds as required uh, by the regulation. And but I don't want to lose you. You know, it will be a death sentence to me if I'm not going to chant. So, Krishna, can I lower it down? Let's say 8 rounds. Yeah. Krishna will allow that. Krishna will actually talk to you in your heart. Yes, do it. But you have to do it regularly on a daily basis. Yeah, if you can't finish the 8 rounds, you only finish 6 rounds uh, because you're so busy and stuff like that. The following day, before you start your 8 rounds, you have to pay that 2 rounds that you're lacking. Pay that up first, so you chant 2 rounds first, and then you start from the very beginning again, like that. There is another there is another instruction I heard from Srila Prabhupada that, for example, you have not finished your rounds, okay, then you owe 2 rounds the following day, but then uh, you weren't able to finish your 8 rounds again, and now you owe 4 rounds already, or 3 rounds. Yeah, so the following day you have to repay that. You have to repay that. Yeah, so if it's going to be on a daily basis, just start off in the beginning. Just start off in the beginning and pray to Krishna. Krishna, please forgive me. Yeah, I'm not able to actually finish your rounds, my rounds. To start from the beginning, if it compounds and compounds and compounds on a daily basis.
Okay.
The the disciples, they cannot lower it down. Once you're a disciple, Srila Prabhupada will give you a specific number of rounds to chant. For example, I am a disciple, and I was given by Srila Prabhupada 14 rounds to chant on my beads daily. So I really have to finish that. Like, even if I'm already very sleepy at night, so I don't lie down on my bed, because if I lie down on my bed, very easy, you will be able to sleep. So I force my body to walk, walk within the confines of my home. like that, go to the kitchen, just finishing my rounds like that. Yeah, because that is very, very important. That is part of what is known as the regulated principles, the do's. Okay, Kathy?
Yes, thank you so much. Actually, when I was sick and I did chant in the round, in a way, it's easier to focus because when you chant in your mind has nowhere else to go. You know you're. But when you're just mouth like saying it by your mouth, your mind wanders everywhere.
It's actually very, very difficult to focus using the mind. So, but if you engage many senses, that's why japa meditation, we use many senses: the sense of touch, the sense of hearing, the sense of talking, the sense of sight, like that. You can have Krishna's picture right there on the wall while chanting. You can actually like use all these different senses, so you will be able to actually focus. But if it's just the mind, wow, I tell you, the mind is full of dirt and pollution. So it's actually very difficult.
No, but you're chanting in
But
your
you can do
mind,
it.
you know. Pardon
Yeah,
me?
if you're
You're
chanting in your
chanting.
mind,
Hmm.
if you're chanting in your mind and you actually are sincere, then that is another story. You know, Krishna will accept that. As you said, sometimes your body is sick. You're just lying there on the bed, very difficult to even get your beads. You just chant Krishna, Krishna, Krishna in your mind like that. Krishna will accept that.
Yes. Thank you, sir. No,
Who
I
has
had some infection. I could not speak. That's why. Haribo. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Haribol Kati? Yeah. Who else wants to uh, who else wants to ask? I saw some hands a little while back. Kanino ba yon? George Janner.
Sa inyo po yata, sir.
Ha?
Sa inyo po yata, sir, accidentally na-raise po yung hand nung
Sa akin. Sinilower mo na lang. Okay. No worries. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. If there are no other questions, we can proceed with Kirtan. Elinette, are you there, Elinette?
Haribol, sir. I have no guitar, sir. Haribol, I have no guitar,
You
sir.
have no guitar.
Opo. I think
Okay.
Kathy can do if she wants.
Yeah, Mabel is here. Haribol, Mabel, are you there?
Yes, sir. Haribol.
Okay.
Haribol.
Why don't you lead the exit Kirtan? Yeah.
Yes po. Haribol.
All right. Okay.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasade Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana 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 Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Jaya Vrindavan Shri Govinda Gopinata Madana Mohana Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Jaya Vrindavan Shri Govinda Gopinata Madana Mohana Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan Shri Govinda Gopinata Madana Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chanja Jaya Gaura Bhaktavinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Jaya Nityananda Jai Advaita Chanja Jaya Gaura Bhaktavinda Nitai Gaur Nitai Gaur Nitai Gaur Haribol Nitai Gaur Nitai Gaur Nitai Gaur Haribol Jaya Jaya Nitai Gaur Nitai Gaur Haribol Jaya Jaya Nitai Gaur Nitai Gaur Haribol Jaya Jaya Nitai Gaur Jaya Jaya Nitai Gaur Nitai Gaur Nitai Gaur Jaya Jaya Nitai Gaur Gurudev Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Shri Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Shri Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Shri Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Shri Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Sira Swaru Ananda Paramahamsa Jaya Jaya Sira Swaru Ananda Paramahamsa Gurudev Gurudev Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Haribol. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mabel, for the wonderful exit kirtan. I would like to thank, of course, Namaste. Yeah, I would like to thank George or Janar for the assistance and for the simulcast in other rooms. Maraming salamat, Janar. Thank you.
Ang salamat, sir. Hare Krishna.
Haribo, namaste. I'd like to thank, of course, Mr. Praveen
Maraming
for coming
salamat
this
po.
morning. Maraming salamat din. Kati, maraming salamat, Kati. Thank you.
Go, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kati. And of course, Lynette, thank you.
Thank you rin po. Namaste everyone.
Namaste. Okay, have a blessed Sunday ahead of you. If it's still raining, keep yourself dry. Okay, I know that the typhoon has has gone out from the Philippine area of responsibility, but I heard that there's another one coming in. I don't know when it is going to hit. No, so thank you very much, guys. Be careful always and have a blessed day ahead of you. Jaya Krishna, Haribo.
Thank you, Haribol.